a couple of components of the office needed to come out to see where I lived, to make sure that where I lived was going to be successful, because I had to be sited in a successful location for me to be personally successful in Hong Kong and to run the 100 people in Hong Kong that I was responsible for running. If I was unsuccessful, they would be unsuccessful. The only way I could be successful is if my house was correct in feng shui. So they came out, they looked at it, the toilets had to be here, and the kitchen had to be there, and we had to be sited correctly. And fortunately, the house had a hill behind it and had a valley below it, and the water flowed well, and everything was just wonderful. So we had a good start, an auspicious beginning in Hong Kong. So I was sitting at one of the tables, and I was carrying on a conversation. I was fairly new in Beijing, carrying on a conversation with the folks who were at my table, and talking, yammering away, and whatever was important to them, whatever was going on. And the room was pretty quiet. And I'm sitting there going, well, this is dinner time, they're bringing the food, they brought the food out, and the food was sitting on the table, it was getting cold. And I was sitting there yammering along, and everything was just stopped in the room. And I'm going, well, go, eat, whatever. And they said, we can't eat yet. Why not? Because you have to eat first. And I was the senior in terms of age, that was easy, and I was senior in terms of position, which everybody also knew, because that was very important to them. Very important that I was the boss, if you will, in a lot of ways, both as to age and as to position. So all I had to do was take my chopstick, everything is singular in Chinese, chopstick, and take a morsel and eat one morsel, and there was a feeding frenzy. The place was wild. The second I started, the place was absolutely wild. In a lot of other places, whether it's in Thailand, there are different things in Thailand. Every one of these countries over there, if you will, has a different set of these things that have to be respected. Whether you're in Malaysia, whether you're in Indonesia, whether you're in Thailand or wherever. Well, yeah. Now, the mistake I personally made at this dinner was along toward probably 12:30 or 1 o'clock, and we were still eating. And I was getting stuffed. And we had more stuff coming to the table, and I was getting just completely overstuffed with food. It was wonderful stuff. There happened to be a plate of raw crab, and I really love raw crab. If you've ever had it in China, it's really exceptionally good. And I was eating on that quite a bit because I really liked it. And there was one morsel left on that plate. And guess what I did? I ate it. And I ate it because I wasn't hungry, but it was so good, and I didn't want to waste it because we were getting ready to leave. I didn't want to waste it. Big time mistake. For those of you who know, you do not eat the last piece on a plate because they have to bring another one out. Because the heritage, the culture is that they didn't provide you enough. And so you finished it, and therefore they should have given you more to begin with because you finished what they gave you. So they got to bring a whole other plate of this stuff up. And I was the only one eating by then, and so I had to work on that raw crab down enough to respect the fact that they brought a whole other, they're talking about big plate. So here's the test for Guido. I knew this one already. I knew what I had to do with this bowl of peanuts. That is, I had to be able to pick more than one peanut up out of this bowl with my chopstick and eat it successfully without pinging it off against the wall or something else. And as I picked the first one up, kind of everybody just see body language. Is this guy going to make it or not? And I was able to make it, and I proved it many times. I kept going back to the bowl to keep eating the peanuts, and I ate a couple of 3 of them, and by the time I had finished a couple of 3 of them, I was okay. Because if I had pinged that thing against the wall, then I would have been just out, just like that.